Liquid struggling. They've got Boxy back after a long break. Their results at the major weren't too fantastic. They've just been kind of, I mean, I hate to say, but I feel like they've just been unimpressive. Like, I feel like there's a lot of big expectations being under like the Team Liquid brand. Like, that's a
Hmm.
championship level esports team. And I feel like they just haven't really been able to, find their big break.
Yeah, I think that's very fair to say. We when we talk about Team Liquid, there's always like when you talk about the qualifiers as well. There's always the three top teams that you expect to see on top with OG, Nigma, and Team Liquid. And Team Liquid definitely dropping the ball there a little bit. They're of course playing against a squad that has earned Team Liquid that respect because that was the squad, former Team Liquid that won TI. In 2017. A Team Liquid, though, they're opening strong here, Trent. We got the
Mm.
opening of the Axe Lone Druid, making a statement here.
Ooh, okay. Don't want those Koikva bans in the second phase.
Getting their favorites now.
Yeah.
It's not too bad. I think Lone Druid will likely be defaulted to mid lane, and he will do potentially fine against what is most likely a Miracle Lina, I would guess.
Hmm.
So Lone Druid, not his favorite matchup, but he can manage. And then Axe, the ability just to flex it on both lanes makes it just a really solid 2-3.
You have all this rune control when you have the Lone Druid, too, because that was, like, the last time we saw Lone Druid a lot, that was before the water runes, and there were more bounty runes, and he did all these shenanigans with, like, throwing the bear around and denying bounty runes and everything, so you can see the same sort of plays and maybe try and relieve a little bit of that pressure that Alina could give, if it ends up being the Lina mid with all the spam.
Yeah, I think it will almost 100% be Lina mid unless they feel like it's a good TA game. I don't think they're going to go that direction, though. I feel like it's just really safe. This Lina is just such a well-rounded hero because you can go, you can play it in a lot of different ways. Like, you can go early BKB if you want a team fight. You can go like Shadow Blade and do the split push. You can play for cast range. You can play for physical damage, magic damage. So I just think you put it on mid. It farms incredibly quick. It moves around the map quick. It kind of fits into his playstyle. Maybe it's not as good as his Invoker or TA, but I mean, he showed in the last series his Lina can be good in the right game.
It really can be. We're in the ban phase. I don't think there's well, in terms of bans, generally we ban out the cores, or they ban out the cores in this phase. Is that still the case? Because I see a Snapfire removed for now. They already have removed the Slardar, and they do like those minus armor things. So perhaps are there still people and heroes in the pool
I
that
think,
have minus armor?
I mean, to me, they're just, like, slowing down the options they've shown before, as well as, like, great ways to enable the Lone Druid. I think that's, like, trying to, like, get the fast Roches and try and, like, propel your whole draft that way. Just, like, take care of those now.
Because they've shown two cores in the first phase, Nigma has a lot of freedom with their bans as I see it. They can ban potentially some supports that they feel like might make really strong lanes for Liquid that they can't deal with, but they'll probably spend a ban or two on protecting Timbersaw unless they're confident that Timbersaw is laning against either the Axe or the Lone Druid already. So they could ban out just some strong combos. Liquid's probably going to pick two supports here in the second phase and save their last pick for their final core.
Hmm. And we already have the Ancient Apparition removed, and a couple of other favorites for Team Liquid. If you're talking, for example, about Insania Heroes, of course, the Keeper of the Light. They do also like the Rubik, even though it hasn't really worked out so far.
Yeah, I think
but that's still in the pool.
something that would work well with Axe on a sideline. I feel like AA and Snapfire definitely fit the bill for that. I'm trying to think if there's a third that might be
I mean,
pretty good versus Timbersaw.
Sky's a classic, but that's, the hero's a little out there. But we're finding the out there heroes, I guess. That's been a bit of a theme lately, right?
Yeah, I feel like you could do you could go something really safe like a Witch Doctor. Haven't seen Insania play that too much. He might end up going for his Oracle, which is really popular. I would not like to see him play a Batten. You definitely don't want to be like a melee hero versus this Timbersaw.
We still have Lion as well, who's like...
Yeah, it's not bad, but it is low damage for Timbersaw. So right now they really do lack a bit of damage on Team Liquid's lineup. So I would like to see them get something from their supports. Maybe Phoenix could be a good choice for them. You could even do like a 5 Phoenix, and Axe could probably carry him through lane. Well, whether it be off lane or safe lane Axe. I'm curious how the like a safe lane Axe versus off lane Timbersaw matchup would go. I feel like Axe will be. Maybe they both just farm. I'm not completely sure. I'm not sure if one forces the other out.
We also still have Hoodwink, actually, speaking of those like high damage supports.
True.
Like someone who could actually follow up on the Axe for the kill.
And respect band there from Team Nigma, the Monkey King. We've seen Team Liquid pick it up a couple of times so far these qualifiers, and it's looked okay. I don't think it won, though, but still the respect banning it out. Team Liquid, they took a long time to ban out the Drow Ranger, and they've also banned out the Winter Wyvern. Is there any particular theme that you see in terms of those bans? Other than the Frosty Bits?
Yeah, just super good versus Lone Druid. I think those are like two of the best heroes. Because they can just like outrange, and then if they put the Axe in the off lane, then Drow can also zone that out too. So it's just that was a really good bans, I think.
Yeah, I like him too. I'm definitely looking at the Phoenix for either side. I feel like Kuro could pick that hero up and play it this game. Wyvern's also very good against the Axe, right? You can freeze the person who gets called. It's like a bit of save. You can even ult the Axe afterwards.
Oh, they take the ILTW Luna away from him.
There is with the Luna gone, there is a Shadow Demon in the pool. Shadow Demon could be a potential 4 for GH if they wanted to do Luna mid, and it's it's good setup for LSA throughout the game. It's also kind of like a hard counter to Luna. I would love to see Shadow
and the
Demon.
Axe too, right? Yeah, this is really good.
Good save for Axe as well.
Ooh, that's hard to
they
beat.
picked their cores in the first 3.
Yeah,
that is a little bit surprising.
Potentially, maybe we'll get the 5 Axe.
No, it's the Insania 5 position Lone Druid from way back when.
Something should never be touched again. Pilot Eye Tinker, we just...
So the only reason that Liquid would do this is that they've truly felt like Nigma was going to take the Luna themselves. So if that's, that may be a correct read, we'll never know. But we'll have to see, what Nigma decides to pick for carry, and if it's anything similar to Luna, maybe they did want it.
All right, write that down. We got to ask that after. All right. If Nigma win, we'll just have to make sure. Double check. Is Medusa still in? It is. Yep. That's potentially something Nigma could go for. I feel like that's been a go-to versus Luna. Just like, she does a lot of AoE damage. You are this big stalwart single unit.
Yep. Looks like Snaking has inspired Team Liquid a little bit here as well with the Mirana pickup, most likely for Taiga.
Yep, Ench out there. It's very annoying harass. I love it when it lanes with the Axe because you can just plant a deep ward and dive couriers, and Axe can be cutting creeps and stuff, so you can both be a little bit elusive and mysterious with all the creep shenanigans you can pull. And we started talking about Midas Armor earlier as a potential for Liquid, but Nigma come out with the Phantom Assassin.
Yeah, this hero is pretty nice in this game, I would say. He's got the natural evasion for the Axe and his illusions to reduce the damage from that, that super powerful Manta Shard timing. He also has good jump for either support, and that's actually one of the things that Mirana struggles with the most is this. Mirana and Lina are kind of the same, where they want to play backline on the lane, but if you can poke the Mirana or if you can poke the Lina and threat that jump with that level 2 blink strike, it makes Mirana's game much, much harder. Also, PA is one of the... it's pretty good against Lone Druid because you can jump the hero if he's ever not in position and you have good burst. You also generally go Deso on PA, which is pretty nice for him and the bear. But that
Aren't
matchup
you worried
is...
about being kited though?
By who?
You get entangled, you get a lucent beam on your head, that sets up for a call.
Well, that's one of the strengths of PA versus other heroes, is that it's really hard to kite a PA because she has the blink strike, whether she wants to, go in with it or go out with it.
10 seconds remaining. Fair enough.
My
last picks.
Yeah, what can Insania get away with here, assumedly for him at least, in terms of a... Oh, wait, he'll have the last overall pick too. Yeah, okay, we can't look at his hero quite yet. I'm thinking tree, other than the timber, would be pretty good. Just something else to try and stop the PA from doing her game plan, if she jumps in, you force the commitment.
Yeah. They have some BKB locked down already, but nothing wrong with getting more. They're really low damage still, I would say, for this Timber Saw, which is a bit of a concern for me. I'm not sure if they can find damage on position 5.
Oh, the Witch Doctor you mentioned earlier actually still looks really good too, because they have the Ench now as well.
Yeah.
I can't help but think Liquid messed up in their draft here. I don't understand. Like, I don't get why you would last pick your 5 position in on second pick. It could. I mean, he's supposed to carry the game, right? Last pick, he's supposed to have the best game. So hopefully,
He did carry the game earlier today with his Ancient Deprivation with 3
okay.
Rangers. That worked out well.
All right, 5 Viper. We're in.
yeah, it would be something.
We'll get the break. I mean, you said the Hoodwink break too. Actually, is pretty nice for the PA.
Kind of rough. This is a really hard lane. Remember, it could be for Lina, right? Still.
Yeah.
I think that the Miracle will just play it though. I still really like Shadow Demon for GH, and I know he has played the hero in the past, but he could easily play Lina if they wanted a new mid. There's still TA in the pool.
Yep.
Maybe not the best matchup versus Lone Druid, and they go
Willow.
with the Willow.
And there's the Viper. Good call, Trent.
But is it 5 or is it 5X?
Well, that
It's
is
5
Viper.
Viper. Yeah, 5 Viper's
Yes,
pretty good.
5 Viper coming out.
Yeah.
And yeah, the GH Willow. There's not really any surprises in terms of who is playing what this game. Interesting draft. It's kind of all over the place, and a weird draft order. Pretty weren't really too confident in Team Liquid's draft. Now that you see the full picture, does that change your mind?
No, not necessarily. I think the Viper last pick is going to be pretty underwhelming, and I feel like Nigma is on a lot of comfort heroes, so I expect all of them to have like a good game. And if they don't get crushed in lanes, they can delay the game a little bit. I think Timbersaw will make plenty of space for PA to farm up.
Yeah, this game to
All right, how
me,
about you, Trent?
Boxy and Taiga need to. We need some serious like snaking energy here from Taiga with those big plays around. It's not so much a like stack scouting. I mean, actually, it kind of is because they have Mind Control and Miracle with this Timber and Lina, who can both abuse it pretty heavily. So if he can sort of like abuse the safe lane by like sniping couriers, scout out the stacks, get Boxy up to the earlier blink, it's those two that really need to make the magic happen, because Lone Druid and Luna can be a little bit shaky. I think their win condition overall does look a little bit more difficult for Liquid.
Okay, well, let's see what's going to happen in the first game of Elimination Series for the Western European TI-10 qualifiers. We're heading over to Lyrical and AUI for Game 1.
Thank you so much, Shiver. Yeah, Ali, we're here. You know, the final 4 teams, I think a lot of people were anticipating some combination of these ones in the bottom, but it's Nigma and Liquid who have fallen first. Thoughts going into this game before we really get into like the draft too much? Is there one team that you sort of feel is the favorite going into this series, or is it pretty even?
I mean, they have played some games in the TI qualifiers, but just because of the format, they haven't shown that much, like any team yet. And I think going in, like most people would put Nigma as one of the favorites to win the entire thing, just because, you know, the performance at the ANA major, their history at TI, just the experience of the team. So I think it is a little bit of Nigma's favor going in. With that said, this might be the hardest Timbersaw lane I've ever seen. Luna Viper looks like it's going to destroy Mind Control in lane. And he's on Dire side, so the wave pulling is not as effective as it otherwise might have been. And Koikfa, look at that. He's scouted out the ward with his bear, so they already know where one of the wards are placed. Just a little advantage they're eking out.
Yeah, he was doing that through the very early sets for at any point. So they probably aren't even going to go over to contest for this one. But it's going to be interesting to watch. Like you're talking about, a very tough lane. And Sania, not only does he have poison attack skilled up level 1, but he's also got 3 mangoes. So he is just going to be ready to spam constantly on mind control.
And you combine that with just a mini stun from Lucent Beam, so Mind Control can't Timber Chain away, which he has skilled at level 1, and the Aura, making Viper hit just that much harder. It's a really hard lane for Timbersaw. I played Viper 5 against Timbersaw in NA qualifiers on a joke team, and Timbersaw got smashed in that lane. I had it terribly, not a Luna.
And I mean, it was you, so if you can do it, then, you know,
yeah,
surely...
basically, like, this guy's going to play a lot better. Like, even from level 1, look at this. They're already... Mind Control can't even enter the lane right now.
Yeah, that is really annoying. They do get a little bit of a wraparound here from GH, and we'll see what he tries to do. They're going to start Timber Chaining, actually. Insania, has he stepped too far forward? Oh, man, this is a problem. The chase down and the kill. What should have been a 1 lane, and now it's completely turned around.
That was a really good read from Nigma. GH just sneaking in from the side, and I mean, now Mind Control, he gets a free wave. The levels that you're most concerned about on Timbersaw are levels 1 and 2. Now, Mickey, look, he's getting pressured in this lane.
Oh, man. It's so crazy sometimes the effect that a single decision, a single step out of position can cause on the whole rest of the game. And we'll see how this goes. Insania now respecting it a little bit more as GH proving it to be the difference maker, at least in that first round. And you can see now some of the strength that's coming back a little bit more for Liquid, but it doesn't feel like it's going to have that same potency that it would have starting at level 1.
For sure. Because of the start of the lane, now this hard camp has spawned. Usually on Dire, you don't have many play options because your wave pool is not as good. But with the hard camp, now you have some ability to manipulate the creep equilibrium, get Timbersaw to that desperately needed level 3.
Okay, well, we'll keep our eyes on that one for sure, as it does look like up top now, ILTW trying to deal with the pressure that's going to come from Taiga and Boxy, and at least so far he's been pretty okay with it. Got level 2, has himself not a ton more regen, but Kuro's brought out a lot as well. So that's going to be something to watch for. How do you feel like this mid's going to go?
I think this lane is Lina favored. I could be wrong because Lone Druid is so infrequently picked and Koikva's a specialist on it. But how I see this lane is you don't even care about hitting Lone Druid's hero. You just hit his bear and Lina does too much DPS. You can't sustain because the cooldown is very long. And it's very expensive now to buy TPs for your bear.
Okay, it'll be something to watch for. And it does look like Miracle in the meantime just trying to focus on farming. He is actually punching Koikva a good number of times. Lina has really good range, obviously, in the mid lane. So we'll do a little bit of trading off there. As he does
look at the bear mid. It's just getting pressured. You know, you just right-click it, and eventually you do have to spend resummons, and then you're vulnerable. Top lane arrow. Oh, just arrow into range creep. Sorry, I thought that was going on a hero.
Oh, that's fine. Sure, it will at some point. It's 3 minutes in, and you can see that nobody is getting fully blocked out right now. How much of a big deal is it that Mind Control was able to get to this level 3, and that the lane looks like he's going to have at least a bit of a life down here? Does that sort of shut everything down at all, or do you think it's going to be pretty okay?
I think the lane is still going to be complete freeform for Mickey. It's just this lane was going to literally be 100-0 in my opinion. Like Timbersaw would, at points, he wouldn't even get EXP from the creeps. You'd have to pull wave on Dire, on Dark Willow. He's actually going to get to play a Dota game this game. He's doing just as well as the Axe, and oftentimes when you have these strong side lanes, you know, Enchantress 5, Viper 5, it's not about winning the lane as an offlaner, but getting more than what the opposing offlaner is getting.
Okay. And right now, he's doing a good job of, allowing himself to stay in this one. Gets a couple of denies there onto Mickey, and you can see in mid, they're keeping that constant pressure on as well onto the bear. And potentially, you're going to be able to kick Mickey out of this lane once you get up to 6 on Mind Control. As over to the side, Kuro makes the move over, able to snipe a courier, looking for a kill, but the battle ensuing, Taiga gonna bring him down. Now can just head on back home. Happy as a clam. Well, that was not what we were anticipating seeing there, but nonetheless, the pressure being mounted again down bottom. The Cursed Crown to try and stop this, coming up from Insania, and they will be able to force them off yet again.
A lot of pressure coming in from Mind Control, and what's this resulting in is, even though the lane is going quite a lot better than I thought it would, GH is still having to buy souls for his offlaner. You can see Potom has 300 gold on the opposing 4. A lot of this is just how much magical damage there is onto this Timbersaw.
Right. Being able to find a kill along the way helps also, as Taiga is going to actually take out that large camp you can see over in the triangle there, as well as get the stack off. So focusing on making sure this Potom has a good game.
Smoke from GH here. Miracle feels like he has a little timing here. He has Laguna Blade, he has Koikva. Where's his bear?
That is a good question. Did it just die?
It might have just died. I mean, Miracle is very high EXP, so I could have seen that happening. And they're smoking up. They know he has no bear, so he's vulnerable here.
Oh, the scan, though. They recognize. But Koikva still needs to be careful. All right, he has 10 seconds until the resummon. If they can manage to find a kill, like, as the resummon happens, too, that just ends his game. But you can see Koikva playing very, very safe right here. Gets the resummon now. Is he going to stick around? Drops down the ward. They spot him. And it looks like there's going to be content with the farming. And that also means Boxy up top getting gone on here. Forced to TP out. It's away on very low HP.
He does have a solve. Actually, okay, so he uses a solve. Murata's getting the stacks up for Axe. So I think Boxy, he has some comeback potential. Timbersaw, he's not quite the same. I mean, recently he has been doing a lot of ancient stacks specifically, but they don't have any of those on the Nigma side. And I actually forgot, when I was talking about the net worth of Dark Willow and Palm, this is actually with Dark Willow having First Blood, right? Like, this would be even worse, at least because of that First Blood. Again, a little bit of result of that from Insania, who's getting gone on now.
They go on trying to find a kill, and it looks like with the root and the rundown, they will be able to finish that one off. GH still has Shadow Realm, switches over into it. A little bit of an outplay there, and TP out afterwards. So a nice kill, and then immediately able to get out of there. He baited that the whole time. Oh, and look at this Kuro up top. He's stealing the stacks with the Wild Wing.
And Taiga, he TP bottom, so he's not able to get here. Oh, okay, Koikva, luckily, he scouts this out. That's a big deal.
Is it going to go down in time? I mean, he's taking a lot of the creeps. Look at it all.
You are getting a lot, but Koikva is getting a lot of EXP from it, and with the root there, they should be good.
Oh, and Kuro takes back over the other help here now, and is going to steal away the rest of them. Man, you got to be pissed if you're Liquid right there. Looking for the arrow kill onto it, or just the last hit? Yeah, and they will clean it up. But Kuro, will he pay for his crimes? Gets a little bit of stealing in, but Koikva eventually brings him down, and now they're going for LTW with Boxy here. He doesn't have Vanguard yet, but they're still going underneath the tower, and LTW cuts a path away. Oh, blinks onto Boxy. Looks for the call, not going to be on the mark. So Liquid can't punish ILTW. And him staying around this area, getting this XP, it's not terrible, but if they can get this tower down, this is huge for Liquid.
Yeah, and good evasive moves coming in from ILTW there. We did see Miracle take the big hard camp stack in his triangle during that, so he is very farmed on the Lina. However, you know, Kuroko, he died there. They still got some of the stack on Liquid, but he did make a lot of space for Lina. Now look at this space, it's being pressured, turned into some pressure mid.
Right. Insania has been able to get to level 5 before 10 minutes. Arrow goes out, connects onto GH. Curse Crown already used, and the stuns, it will be enough as Miracle makes the move in to find that kill. This does give some time for the top tier 1 tower to go down. So the rotation over, ILTW going to attempt a deny here, most likely. And it looks like he should... Well, no, Quakeva runs in. Gets the last hit.
Oh, they got Mickey, though. They're going on...
Whoa.
I don't know if they have enough.
Down bottom, Timbersaw's moving as well. Sidesteps the Chakram, and now the turn onto Kuro. Tries to bring him down. Will it be enough? Yes. But now, can they finish off Mickey? He's out of mana. Timber Chain's through. He's so low, but the Chakram goes out. And that will find the kill on the Luna. Mind Control attempting to run. Chain's a little short. And so he ends up falling. So 3 for 1 in the end, but it was a big one.
Yeah, I think anytime you play a fast farmer like Luna, it's a counterintuitive because you lose a lot of farm speed, but you're actually really happy if you die for the boys, because your team will get so much stronger that they will buy you enough time to just be that fast farmer. Because Mickey made this one play where it leads to 3 kills for his team, he feels very comfortable just AFK farming until he has his full timing, you know, some Manta, Dragonlance, some BKB, whatever he wants. He's already done his job.
Right, and he's going to be that much faster too. You can see Mickey held off on building the Morbid Mask because he got that Possessed Mask instead. So he's just going straight into the Dragonlance.
Oh, that's some big acceleration coming in.
Yeah, such a great feeling, I'm
setting
sure.
up on... No, I mean, Boxy is a Vanguard. You can't really touch this hero right now with Nigma's heroes unless you have Timber or Lina rotate. But Miracle, he's very focused on just finding his own farm this game. He's going for the same build he did his previous 2 Lina games, just a Boots of Travel into BKB. He's really just gonna farm it up. I mean, he's 1,000 above everyone else in the game and hit a big timing here. Ooh, good snipe by Koikva.
Well done, well done. And you can see Boxy getting gone on a little bit again, but you know, this is a PA with the Ring of Health and Kuro, and you can see by that last stat that we had, this is one of the first games that LTW's had in a while on the PA, and his first so far for Nigma, as they're going to try and rotate up here. They have level 6 on Sania, level 6 on Taiga, and does ILTW want to stick around? He's going to back out. So heads up play there. Nigma recognizing that inherent danger and will retreat. But at least now, I mean, this to me feels like the next logical choice would be to try and take the mid tier 1 from Nigma, since Liquid's already lost their tier 1.
I think so, especially with the Lone Druid lineup. their lineup is a bit awkward. I think it has a bit to do with last picking your position 5. That always ends up in like sort of a less. Wait, the dragon just killed Insania's courier because they Moonlight Shadowed when they aggroed it. That's a really weird interaction, unfortunately there. But anyways, your lineup is always slightly less robust when you go for sort of unorthodox picking order, something that's not standard. There's a reason why there are defaults and standards in terms of drafts or even play. It's because if something breaks that, usually you can just go and have an advantage. Viper is a pretty good 5 to last pick. I mean, he probably should have won the lane harder, and he does have huge impact with the Nether Talks in this game against PA, even some Lina and Enchantress. But I'm sort of curious to see how that will turn out.
Okay. Well, we'll keep our eyes on it for sure. And in the meantime, you can see a lot of drawings being made right now as the call is maybe they want to get something done up in the top lane here. But 1,000 gold lead for Nigma. It's been pretty free over the last couple of minutes. It just feels like Nigma have free reign over everywhere. The fact that LTW has been able to just AFK farm top is kind of wild.
And mind control, coming into what I think should be the hardest lane for Timbersaw in the game. Like literally, if I craft heroes just to counter Timbersaw, this is a lane I would pick.
Right.
He's managed to take over the enemy safe lane tower. He's third in net worth in the game. He's ahead of LTW even. He's having a great game on Timbersaw. Absolutely. The thing is, Viper counters Timbersaw in the lane as a 5, but later on, mind control is going to kill him with pure damage and just slows don't do anything.
Right. Yeah, it's gonna be a really big problem for sure. As we see the just level 10, like nobody is around him at all. He's got the pipe done. We're what? How far away is this now? 600 gold from getting a Battle Fury, and it just really doesn't feel like there's any pressure that's being mounted at all by Liquid. But they have to wait, I guess, for their item timings and Boxy to get that Blink Dagger. He's what, around 800 gold away from it now.
And I think a lot of this is a late Vanguard Blink for an offlane Axe, I think. He's the lowest net worth core in the game, and a lot of this is because of that play made earlier by Kuroki. They were supposed to give that 4x hardcamp stack to Axe. He would have been accelerated, which would have let him get this early Blink Dagger, and then Liquid could have made moves. As it is right now, like, who's making the moves on Team Liquid? You have PA going Battle Fury, he almost has it on Nigma. You have Lina just farming up everything on the map, and Timbersaw, he can't die right now. They don't have any plays right now.
Boxy seeing if he can do something in this Moonlight Shadow, but you can see Mind Control has already backed away. They're just doing such a good job of reading the map right now.
It's a hard read. Like LTW, he's even going into the corner of the map to farm lane creeps as a hard carry. This is usually forbidden territory to like cross maybe like this line once you, even further closer to tier 2. Like once your hard carry, once your tier 1 has died, you can't cross that line because the enemy usually has control over your side of the jungle and they'll just kill you. But because of the hard read they made, maybe a ward identifying where the heroes are, I'm not too sure what they saw, he's able to get that additional farm and put tower pressure on top.
Very impressive.
Look at how clumped Liquid's heroes are right now. They're all within their own jungle, basically. No one is pushing in top. They managed to get bot lane out together, but there's pressure coming in top just from one GH, and they don't feel like they have any plays right now.
Well, and to be honest, it feels kind of like they're right. Miracle does have a regen rune now, and he's working towards that BKB. Man, he is so farmed. 2,000 gold lead. Over the last couple of minutes, it's been a slight acceleration. There is still going to be this timing that we'll see eventually from Team Liquid, as you can see that they're giving Boxy as much farm as they possibly can. They get the Blink Dagger done. If they can find a pick now, they're grouping together as 4. It could be a little telegraph. Mickey is showing in the top lane, is going to back out afterwards. See where they decide to go.
Telegraphed or not, they have to make this play in order to get map control. Insania, he's read the map a little bit. For the smoke, he saved up 3 observer wards, and they're going to be ready to go here. He even passes the obs ward over to Axe so that Boxy can place the obs ward and jump at the same time. A little bit slow in the connection here, though.
Yeah, they're going to put it up on this high ground here, and, well, wait for their opportunity. Nobody's showing.
Like this should be read by Nigma. Like, all the lanes are in good positions.
But and a wrap round.
That's your Blink Dagger timing. I mean, they need to get something out of this from Team Liquid. Otherwise, I don't know how they're going to push forward on the map.
An unfortunate series of events for Liquid is they weren't able to connect with that. Now, again, it's not all doom and gloom. They still have this strong timing for a while. Like, you know, you've got a Battle Fury PA on the other team, right? Like, this hero isn't going to be doing much for a long time, it feels like.
Yeah,
we'll see.
I agree. It's just now Miracle, he's finished his BKB.
Yeah.
PA is going to farm really fast with Battle Fury. And I think most importantly, as soon as this Lotus Orb comes out, a lot of the damage from Team Liquid will be mitigated, specifically the Poison Hacks and Viper. But Team Liquid, they understand their timing. They sort of are in a bit of desperation mode. And if you think you're stronger than your opponent and you want to fight them, something you can do is you can just go to objective and force them to come fight you. So they're doing that with this Roshan.
Kuro drops down the ward, jump forward, call is there. Pulling them into this area. Oh, the Terrorize afterwards. It catches onto the Lone Druid, trying to bring down the Viper. Viper's dead. Oh, that's the Miracle BKB. That's huge. Mickey gets caught, gets potentially killed. Oh, they don't have vision. Trying to walk up high ground, seeing if he can regen up a little bit, but Miracle finds him. The huge call afterwards from Boxy. They needed that one. There was the buyback from Insania as they try and run them down one by one. The escape from mind control. Will it be enough? No. They take 2 in exchange for Mickey. Roche is still very, very low. Jump forward, call comes out, able to catch onto the 2 heroes. They bring them both down. Ultra kill for Boxy. It took him a while to get the blink, but when he got it, it mattered.
And honestly, Nigma, they're outplaying them on the map, but Liquid, they make this crucial decision. They force Nigma to come to them to fight, and Boxy, what perfect patience on the blink calls. He pokes the Enchantress to start the fight because he knows that if they just send Roshan, they're going to get feared, Timbersaul's going to go in, they're going to lose heroes just to get kited in the fight. But he pokes a hero to start the fight, resets, and waits for his moment. He got two to 3 man calls that fight. I didn't quite see, but I think again, like an ultra kill, and man, Liquid are straight back in it. They have the Aegis, they give it to Koikva because they think they might burst the Lone Druid, as Peter was mentioning on the panel. PA might be able to jump the real hero, and all the momentum is on their side.
There is something to be said as well for eventually getting, like, it's kind of been a bygone era seeing the Axe going for this blade mail, but if he gets this almost the entire game until like Satanic or something else comes out for ILTW, it's going to be a huge problem for him.
For sure. I think blade mail and Axe, it's honestly been sort of underrated at this point somehow because Manta's just become so popular. I really like this idea because he has 2 right-clicking cores on his team in Lone Druid and Luna. I don't think you can try to all right-click your opponent. You need someone to sort of go in, make the fight good, just like he did in last Roshan engagement. And Blade Mail potentially is a lot better of an item for that. I also want to mention, I think ILTW, he needs to go for BKB this game. I like some BKB SMY Satanic. I don't think you can go for Desolator this game. We saw in the last fight, no one can really go in to tank for Lina. I mean, Timbersaw goes in, but it's not the same as a Tidehunter going in. That's Timbersaw's weakness as a hero. He doesn't control the enemies. If you have BKB on PA, you're jumping your opponents, you're creating space and giving like room for Miracle to hit with his 3 fiery soul stacks and even some DD. Like, I think that would be way stronger.
They are now ready to push up on top side here. Insania, or rather GH, so he's the Willow, but he's going to drop on down the Brambles there, and Tier 2 about to go down as they will have access now to this outpost. It was Insania that picked up the Aether Lens, actually. And you look at the next couple minutes, I mean, wants to get in range, make sure that he can get that onto those key heroes with the Viper Strike. Okay.
I mean, Nether Toxin is a very good spell this game, right? You have PA, even Lina, she doesn't have Fiery Soul stacks up, and Enchantress, so I can see it from that perspective. It's just, it's not an item I would ever really think of. I'm curious to see how his idea will play out in this game.
Well, in the meantime, Nigma able to take that bottom tier 2 tower. And we do have a little bit of a stalemate across the map. Neither team really wanting to fight each other. You still have Aegis for another, 2 minutes roughly for Koikva. And has a resummon on the bear as well. They could try and keep the screws to him. I wouldn't mind seeing them just pressure this tier 2 here. Oh, jump forward! Catches the call there onto GH. In trouble, dead. Oh, Boxy, he's just a hunter.
And Boxy, despite his slow start, despite Kuroki slowing him down by taking those stacks, you know, he had a pretty late Vanguard blink. He's now gotten the last 5 kills for Team Liquid. And he has Blade Mail, and they're not done yet. They're smoking up. He knows he's strong.
Oh, Nigma, you got to be careful. Again, it was such good decisions and plays to dodge away from this fight early on. They find Kuro, though, up on that high ground. Able to catch, able to kill. But we're seeing the power of this lineup once they get those items and once they can actually force the fight. Liquid starting to do it here.
That was a blind jump, by the way.
Yeah.
His smoke popped, and it wasn't even like he went for on the ramp. He knew exactly where Kuroki was based on some weird triangulation between the smokes popping, and he jumped literally on top of it. It looked like he had map hacks, but it's really just smart play, and Boxy does this a lot. And again, they smoke up again. They're just chaining their plays.
Right, looking for him, jumps forward, finds the big one, that's Miracle! Gets caught by the arrow afterwards, misses the dunk, but gets the kill. And this is Waltz here too, mid goes down. Nigma, they've got to be so careful right now because they basically haven't been able to bring ILTW to any fight yet. And he's going to push out this bottom lane. They can see that it's getting pressured. We'll see if they decide to go for him, but no, ILTW going to TP out. And, I mean, what's the play now for Nigma? Like, can you do anything besides dodge? They went for this Deso on PA, but it's really tough.
And they have the same read. They're smoking up here. I'm not too sure what the objective is. Maybe
Aegis
if
down in
Liquid's,
30.
Yeah, if Liquid split up a bit here.
Looking for an opening. They are going to go onto the bear. And Smoke still on these other heroes, GH and Kuro. But
they do have this great ward. Oh, Psych.
Well, they did.
In the smoke, it doesn't really lead to anything because, again, as you're mentioning, they just don't really have a real timing at this point. You don't have BKB on PA against a Blade Mail Axe, you will legitimately die in one call. So you can never commit it, and you're basically just daggers. And Axe, he just has done such a good job. Like, he's countered GH, you can't Shadow Realm against a call. And look, how did they have so many smokes?
I don't know,
Like, they're
man.
just constantly smoking. I think they knew they couldn't do anything, but even when they couldn't do something, they're just constantly buying the smokes, getting them off cooldown. Insanio was saving up that triple ward, and as soon as, they hit their timing with the Blinker, something just snapped, and they're just go, 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 go. Kill them, get map control, and man, it's looking strong right now.
Absolutely.
Insanio's going for Travels next? This boy's a beast. He played that AA game, triple rapier, and said, I'm the core now.
This is what I'm doing. The other core, though, you got to watch out for Quakefa right now. AC done along with Desolator. Look at how quickly these buildings fall with Mickey there as well, continuing to punch away. They're going to hit that LSA, try and take down this bear. He has a resummon afterwards if they want to, but with the combination of Mickey and Quakefa, these buildings just don't stand a chance. They're dropping down one by one. They're going to have to go for the resummon here. Bear will end up dying. 300 gold going away. Mickey waits for the creeps to come back in. Do they want to pull for any more? I mean, PA's not even here. LTW is just farming. He knows he can't fight yet.
They did get a little bit of compensation on the Nigma side just because LTW, he did a good play there. He understands that he can't fight without BKB. Okay, I'm just going to go steal the enemy ancients, TP to my own ancients, take the most efficient farm possible, and wait until I have that BKB. Nigma have to sack this Rax if LTW does not have this BKB right now. I mean, maybe they don't. It seems to look like they want to fight.
And this is a bold play. At least offer some resistance, but it's dangerous. Very dangerous. Bear still alive for a little bit here, but starting to get dropped down slightly. They keep that Rax alive. 130 HP. Do Liquid want to go back in? Oh, it's so tempting. These decisions that you got to make, because you want to keep that pressure on as Liquid, but if you overextend, you're going to get punished so hard.
Liquid has never thrown on high ground, so there's no PTSD from that there. I think what happened is, because Nigma positioned to fight like that, Liquid actually thought that LTW finished his BKB already. Because the timing would make sense. Like, it's 24 minutes, you went Battle Fury into BKB Desolator, you haven't died this game. It's very high percentage that he would have it there. If he did have his BKB, then like this fight could be really bad for them.
Right.
So they just go for the safer option. Roshan spawning in 30 seconds. Insania has Travel's Aether Lens on 5 position Viper, very pog. And yeah, it's like it's a mind game, right? Because Dota's a game of limited information. As a spectator, we can see, I think, 100% they should have taken that Rax. But I know that LTW doesn't have his BKB. Liquid had no idea about that.
So you see now the BKB done, and as you mentioned, Roche capable of responding now in 5 seconds. We'll see what the actual timing ends up being. But 12-6, a 4,000 gold lead. And this now, is this the moment that they want to go? You've got Lotus Orb, you've got that BKB, and they're hunting a little bit right now on the side of Nigma, or are they just going to keep on sitting back in their base? They have AC done too? Ooh, miracle.
That has to be their timing, right? They have 2 BKBs at AC. If you give up the second Roshan, normally I'd say Viper takes a shard and just break high ground, but it's also very good on Luna. Lone Druid's already picked up his own. I think if you hit a timing when you're behind and you don't use it to get something on the map, you're fundamentally going to just fall more behind.
Right.
Because like in default status, the team that's ahead has more map control, which means they will get more gold. So if nothing happens, you're just falling further and further behind. So I'd like to see Nigma go for this fight. They have a smoke on GH, so they are thinking about it.
Oh, Moonlight Shadow, though. They're underneath this ward. ILTW, does he break on it? God, Blur is so good, but they're sending in the Bear first and foremost. Counter smoke now coming in. Bear is there. Smoke and a break. Mind control in the area. ILTW also revealed. Boxy looking for the jump. The call, he catches him. PA gets obliterated. Didn't stand a chance. Laguna Blade comes out, though. Miracle trying to make up for the failings of the rest of the team, but is it going to be enough? The right clicks come through. The fear is there. They find the finish. 3 dead in a moment. Oh, and they're looking for more now afterwards. GH trying to run away. Can't outrun that arrow as Liquid take down 4. And are going to go for the high ground. Boxy. What a
really
god.
Unfortunate. I mean, you got your timing off. You have the BKB on PA, but BKB doesn't do anything.
If you're dead?
Get insta-stunned and you can't use it and dead.
Yeah.
I mean, a little bit of positioning mistake from Nigma, to be honest. I think they should have kited up towards the Tinker ward so they had this vision coming in from the ward.
And look at this
again,
now.
like,
it goes straight for it. They're trying to take down the tier 3 towers, take down they message towards the throne, and that got the buyback, but they still get a second lane of racks.
Liquid making good decisions about high ground. They're backing up here, going for the Roshan. This is a new Liquid, not like the one we saw the other day. I'm actually very impressed with this decision. Just showing growth in these high stress like qualifiers and stuff is very important to like determine how well a team's going to do in said qualifiers, because it shows your ability to adapt to stuff. This decision from Liquid to just secure the win with the Roshan, I'm very happy with it.
And this is everything right now. This is absolutely everything, and unfortunately, it has gone to Liquid. Nigma not able to get there in time. They wanted to contest the Roche. This smoke-up play, they were hoping to find it, but Roche spawn a little bit on the early side. Can they find anybody afterwards? This is such a hard fight right now. Although, Mickey on the low ground.
Items.
Oh,
he left the bad balance.
Kuro picks it up, increasing net worth. Fine. Boxy has blink. They can go in. Has to jump out.
Nigma just picking up Liquid's items. There's a free cloak of flames. You know, dropping items, literally giving net worth to the enemy team.
Yeah, that's fine.
But honestly, like a good dodge from Liquid. That was Nigma's like chance to win this game, right? They're gonna have 2 lanes of pressure. Their only chance is really before Eclipse comes up, before they group up. While Luna's disassembling items to catch her off guard.
Hey, if you keep doing it, that's some good stuff. The problem is she has an MKB on Mickey now. And that one, I mean, I don't know if it's really going to end up mattering that much. She did get the extra gold, leaving Mind Breakers behind now too. Liquid, pick up the trash. What are you doing?
Yeah, just... And, I mean, honestly, you look at these players in this game. They're all like 10, 11k players. Right. They're really good at Dota. But when you put in as much stress as TI qualifiers in, with as much as going on in the game of Dota, it's really easy to make these really small mistakes. It looks dumb to a spectator, but I guarantee you it happens all the time. Like, I'm way better than what I show in officials. That's all
fair.
I'm saying.
Perfect.
Like, all these players are. Like, if you can... Something I hear a lot is like, all we want to do is be able to play as if it's a pub. Like, right. I think almost every team has echoed that sentiment, because when you're relaxed, when you're playing a pub in your normal practice habitat, everything just feels so smooth. When the enemy is putting a lot of pressure on you, as, I mean, fighting Kuroki in a TI qualifier game for elimination would, in the series, it's not easy to make the same calm, rational decisions.
True enough. Well, at this point, Liquid have only been able to win the first game of a series 1 time, and that was earlier today against Chicken Fighters, but we'll see what ends up happening here as they get ready to go up high ground again with the Aegis in hand. They've got how long on this one now? Almost 3 minutes.
Yeah, and they're just waiting a little bit. Boxy just finished up his BKB. It's a big deal because they did pick up the Yule Scepter against Axe onto GH. Now if he calls anyone, he cannot be Yule Scepter to negate the Blade Mail, and they will just kill anyone he gets.
They also just get a DD rune now onto the Bear. So Koikva brings that one on back, has the cheese on the Bear afterwards, and looking to step high ground right now. Manta afterwards. Koikva right on top of that tier 3 tower. It is dropping rapidly. Throws out the Lucent Beams onto Kuro. Koikva Bear backs out. Mickey steps forward. They keep that pressure on. And with creeps coming in the base, Nigma have to deal with that as well. This is such a hard hold. They got Catapult Wave coming in now as well. So the pressure starting to be mounted. What do they have? How can they take this fight? I mean, they're good at slowing this down, but it feels like an inevitability.
Yes, as long as you have this Aegis, which Liquid still have a minute and a half on, they can just slowly siege. We even saw the methodicalness. What? I don't even know what I'm saying.
Sure.
Yeah, that's definitely a word.
The
that's
patience.
Quite fun. His bear is, the patience. Just a little bit. He TPs his bear home to heal. They're not rushing it. They understand that this game is won as long as they don't get 5-man wiped on high ground, which has never happened to them before. So I'm very impressed that they know this concept.
That's right.
But yeah,
they're learning.
They're really playing it nice and slow. Maybe honestly a bit too slow. This Aegis only has a minute left on it, Miracle.
Well, we'll see. You've got just a tiny bit of time left. Nigma, at this point, the tier 3 tower, 1,000 HP left. Root is there. Briggs are down. Okay, that's Aegis down, but they catch the big call there on a Miracle. But the BKB gets off. The back away, ILTW tries to turn a Boxy. That is not a great hero to try and kill off. The right clicks coming through for Miracle. They kill Boxy. Dead for 80 seconds. And Insania now the next one to fall. So Nigma is streaming back a little bit here. What else can they find? Koikba tries to go for the TP out, and it looks like he will be able to complete it, but the bear is the one that falls after. So a nice combination comes out there for Nigma. They will keep Mickey alive.
And that was just Nigma being ready, right?
Yeah.
Constantly, whenever someone up came to the high ground, there's Brambos, you had Lina stun, and Mickey, he pokes his head in. I wouldn't even say too far. It's just hard for him to walk in because that's one of Luna's problems. You just have low range. And they manage to get him. Boxy gets a really good call onto Lina. His blade mode's on against no BKB, once again from the Nigma-sided core. But because Luna's respawned for ages, they don't have enough follow-up. You see MC, he tanked the arrow for his president, Mr. Miracle.
Right.
And yeah, that was a convincing high ground hold. They didn't buy back anyone. No one died.
No, they were perfect in that one. And I think part of that too is, we talked about this sort of unorthodox Lina build of going for the Salt Cuirass. That suddenly means that this Blade Mail does significantly less when you're only spamming out right clicks from Miracle. So good itemization. They've got some good answers as well. This like Solar Crest on Curl, all these things that you might need. But the question is, are they in too big of a hole now to climb themselves back out of it? I mean, PA going for Satanic next. Can ILTW carry this game for them?
I think 100% Nigma's heroes will outscale Liquid's heroes in the late game. Luna, surprisingly, because she wins a lot of games like this, is not a good 1v5 hero. She does not scale into the late game nearly as well as other carries because her only steroid is basically her fast farming speed. If you're 1v1ing a PA with Luna, Glaives is absolutely nothing for you. You will lose that 1v1 unless you're 1 or 2 items ahead, which Mickey has had for the majority of this game, but you're on a timer. She does pick up the spider legs, which extends that timer for some reason. I don't know why that's in the game, but
Fair enough.
Eventually, like as soon as both the Satanics come out for the Nigma cores, it's looking a little sketchy. Axis Blade Mill, it falls off if the enemy has Satanic. Lone Druid, I have no idea how the hero works, but I'm assuming he falls off a bit because he's like an early pusher. And again, Liquid, they still have time. It's not like they need to be panicked yet. They're up 13k. They should still be feeling good. But I think this next Roshan, it has to be their timing where they really want to end this game.
And I mean, we've all seen these Liquid games before. they can happen. So we'll see if it's another classic or if they can close this one out cleanly. You have, 50 seconds now until the next Roche. ILTW is, still pretty far away from having that full Satanic and also buyback on top of it, but kind of feels like
only 1,000 away.
Yeah.
So as soon as he gets his Satanic, if he's confident, he can sort of play a bit of frontline where he tanks the Axe Call, pops Satanic, because Axe Call is still like a 0.4 seconds. I think 0.4? It might be 0.3. I think it's 0.4 though. So you do have time to pop off your Satanic. And if he gets that off, I think as long as they block the arrow for him, he won't die. The other thing that I really like that Liquid is doing is how they're controlling the map. They picked up this gem on Taiga because they've identified that Nigma cannot fight them outside the base. Or if they do, they're going to win that fight. that means that you can purchase a gem of True Sight with relatively little risk of dropping it. And just look at the map for Team Nigma right now. They have zero vision. They're all huddled in their base.
Yeah, just catching one wave at a time and giving it to the heroes that feel like they need the most amount of farm. It does start to feel pretty bad. Mind Control, after having a bit of a good early game, has started to fall behind a little bit here, and I guess he's still actually above the axe, but he's going for that sheep stick next, which can make a pretty significant difference as well. DD?
To be honest, I'm a bit surprised that they didn't give Viper, while they had full map control, he's a travel. I think he just farm his own jungle.
Right.
Get to something like Aeon Disc Shard, and he can just be the one sieging high ground.
Did you see his quick buy, by the way? Insanius prepping for that other game. At the same time.
I mean, last game he had 3 rapiers. This time he wants 4.
That's fair. Roche going to spawn now. Well, we'll see how this one goes. As I mean, Nigma, is there any way that they can know about this really, or contest? It's tough.
Okay, so it's really hard for them to walk on high ground. I think this Roshan is Liquids. They have a DD on Luna. They've been blessed by Gavin. They do it without losing any HP because that's how Lone Jump functions as a hero. But this Aghanim's, I think they're going to give it to Luna here. I can't be too sure.
Yep, they do.
Yeah, so what this means is there's a new condition for breaking high ground. All you have to do is sort of smoke it and jumps on and just drop the Aghanim's. You drop the, I don't know what you call it, I mean, it's just Eclipse. It doesn't change its name. But you drop that, you instantly burst on, and you sort of reset and wait for buybacks. Otherwise, you're just going to take the base while heroes are dead. Because, like, walking up the high ground, it hasn't been working for them.
I thought you were going to say something like, the Leviathan. That's the ship that Malik had in Taurus.
That's what I wanted to say if I was a bit more clever. But I said
fine.
it and my brain just went blank, so... it happens.
That's true. You're catching up.
Another piece of garbage left on the ground by Mickey. He's pinged it this time, so Insania is going to come over and pick up that juicy Stormcrafter. Very nice this game against Dark Willow and Enchantress and even PA slow.
Absolutely. And now they're ready for another round of it. Daedalus done. No buyback for these heroes, but you don't need it if you have that Aegis. Unless things go really, really, really badly for Liquid, which we'll see if it goes wrong or not. Nigma, in the meantime, looking for some way to get this fight happening in their favor. ILTW will go out, push the wave for a second. You would love if there were them to go in and get the next tier of items, but obviously, Nigma having no access to the jungle, they can't do that.
They haven't got a single tier 4 yet, and like how can they? Like maybe PA can blur out the base, but look at Liquid's wards. They're just on the camps, seeing if anyone tries to sneak out, they'll instantly kill their opponent.
So there they go, up towards high ground. Quakeba punching away. They use the, glyph, nothing. Tower's just down, jump forward, good call. Is it going to be enough though? They bring him down. Miracle dead with no buyback. He didn't get anything off. Boxy pops the cheese, runs away. And now the bear going to fall, but Mickey, eyes on the prize, tearing them apart as they will lose the melee racks afterwards. Perfect execution coming out from Liquid as they find the man they needed to, get the kill, and now looking to close this one out. What more could you want?
And this is very clean play. A little bit of a departure from their performance in this TI qualifier. Wait, what just happened?
He just kills Dark Willow with the glaives bouncing as they're going to set their sights on the tier 4 towers, looking for a wraparound there. They want to find the backlines. ILTW, good job, but the turn is there afterwards. Boxy, the man of the hour, making it happen, but GG is called, or not even yet. The Ancient just falls, and Liquid will win it.
I was actually, did I mute some of the Nigma players? Like, they're really good batter and pumps from